Good evening, children. Welcome back. Welcome to Turito, the school foundation program. I am your chemistry teacher giving you the foundation program in class 9th, right, with respect to cracking IIT JEE as well as the NEET examination concerned. So, in the previous class, we started discussing about the kinetic molecular theory of gases, right. So, we have gone through the different postulates of kinetic molecular theory, and also we have derived all the gas laws from the kinetic molecular theory. In the beginning of kinetic molecular theory, I have given you the concept that the kinetic molecular theory is the theoretical explanation for the gas laws. Gas laws are given on the experimental basis. By observing the experiments, they have proposed the laws, and that is taken as the gas laws. In order to have a theoretical background, the kinetic molecular theory was proposed, and of course kinetic molecular theory supporting all the gas laws, because we have derived all the gas laws from the kinetic molecular theory. Now let us focus on some of the main level questions which we can expect from kinetic molecular theory. Okay, let us move on to the first one. Yeah, if Ek is the average kinetic energy per mole, of a gas, then which of the relation is correct? What they have given, if Ek is the average kinetic energy per mole of a gas, then which of the following is correct? So, we have done that according to the kinetic molecular theory, we have come across the PV equal to 1 by 3 mn c square, okay. So, by multiplying and dividing with 2, we have arranged the parameters in this fashion, 2 by 3 of mn c square, okay. So, here we can write 2 by 3 1 by 2 into mn, I can write it as molecular mass into c square. So, half mc square corresponds to, m is the molecular mass, that is 1 mole mass is molecular mass, okay. So, 1 mole molecular mass is 1 by 2 mc square. So, we can write half mv square is kinetic energy. So, we can write PV equal to 2 by 3. So, 1 by 2 mc square, I am writing it as Ek, that is average kinetic energy. So, PV will be equal to 2 by 3 Ek. So, among the given ones if you observe, PV equal to 3 by 2 Ek, no, that is not correct. PV equal to 3 by 2 Vek, so that is also not correct. If you observe the option number C, PV equal to 2 by 3 Ek, so PV equal to 2 by 3 Ek is correct, okay. 3 PV equal to, it should be 2K, but given as 1K, so this is also wrong, okay. So, PV equal to 2 by 3 Ek is the correct answer. So, if we have taken the kinetic gas equation PV equal to 1 by 3 mnc square and multiplying and dividing with the 2, we are going at the same equation and rearranging the terms, 2 by 3 one side, 1 by 2 other side, m into n we are taking it as molecular mass, because m is mass of one gas molecule, n is the number of gas molecules. So, mass of one gas molecule into number of molecule that we are going to take, if we are going to take Avogadro number of molecule, we are getting 1 mole, corresponding mole molecular mass is given. So, half molecular mass into root mean square velocity is half mv square formula. So, it is equal to kinetic energy. So, kinetic energy I am writing it as Ek. So, PV will be equal to 2 by 3 Ek. So, option 3 is the correct answer in this case, right. Very good. Now, let us move on to the next one. The total kinetic energy of 8 grams of hydrogen is dash times to the kinetic energy of 8 grams of oxygen. So, we have hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. How much hydrogen gas is given? 8 grams. Oxygen gas also 8 grams. Now, they are asking us to compare the kinetic energy of this 8 grams of hydrogen is how many times the kinetic energy of 8 grams of oxygen. So, for that purpose what we require? We require the kinetic energy formula. What is kinetic energy formula? Kinetic energy formula we know, we have derived in the previous class. Kinetic energy equal to 3 by 2 nRT, 3 by 2 nRT. So this is the kinetic energy that we have derived in case of equating the kinetic gas equation and ideal gas equation. PV terms we have made in both the cases same, and thereby we have arranged the particles and I mean the parameters, and thereby we have get the equation as 3 by 2 nRT. Okay, right. Now, so here if you observe, what is 3 by 2? It is a constant. What is R? It is also a constant, universal gas constant. What is T here? The temperature of the gases. So here both the gases are kept at the same temperature, because there is no mentioning about the temperature in this case. So I am taking temperature also constant. 3 by 2, okay, 3 by 2 is constant, N is R is constant and T is also constant, okay, and it is clearly indicates that kinetic energy in this particular case will depend upon the number of moles. It depends upon the number of moles. What is N here? It is number of moles. If it is taken as 1 mole, we can write it as 3 by 2 RT. In the previous derivation of kinetic energy, in the last week classes, you have observed that kinetic energy we have derived for 1 mole, that is 3 by 2 RT we have derived it, okay. For n number of moles, we have to write it as n, okay, 3 by 2 nRT will be the equation. So you have to remember this equation, okay, remember this equation and then apply. So 3 by 2 R and T are all constant. So here the kinetic energy of this gas depends only on the number of moles of the gas. So we know that number of moles, how we are going to calculate? We are going to calculate the number of moles. Mole of a gas is calculated from the weight by molecular weight. Molecular weight and weight, if you have in your hand, you can calculate the number of moles, okay, right. So we can write it as weight divided by molecular weight. I am writing weight divided by molecular weight, W small w divided by capital M small w, that is capital M for molecular, W is for weight, or you can take W by capital M, M indicates the molecular mass, right. Now let me calculate the number of moles of hydrogen. How many number of moles of hydrogen we have? In that case we have to calculate the number of moles from the weight that is given. We know that in this case hydrogen mass is given as 8 grams. In nature hydrogen will exist as H2. So molecular mass of hydrogen is 2. So it will be 8 divided by 2. So weight is taken as 8. Molecular mass of hydrogen is 2. So this is 4. Okay. Now let us calculate the number of moles of oxygen. Number of moles of oxygen equal to, number of moles of oxygen will be equal to weight of the oxygen. How much weight is given here? Here you can observe you. It is 8 grams. Okay, 8 grams. Oxygen in nature exists as O2. It exists as O2. Each oxygen atomic mass is 16. Oxygen molecular mass is 32. 16 plus 16, 32. 8 grams weight is given. So weight is 8 grams. Molecular mass is 32. So this will be 2 ones are 2 4 so this will be okay. 8 ones are 8 4 the 32. So this will be 1 by 4. That will be 1 by 4. So number of moles of hydrogen is 4. Number of moles of oxygen is 1 by 4. Now what we have to do? We have to compare the kinetic energy. So I am writing this way. Where I will write? I will remove this one otherwise. Okay. So let me remove this portion so that we can adjust the comparison of kinetic energy here, right. So here if I take a kinetic energy of hydrogen gas divided by kinetic energy of oxygen gas, I am taking the ratio, okay. Kinetic energy of hydrogen gas by kinetic energy of oxygen gas will be equal to. So here kinetic energy depends upon only the number of moles, so I will write it as number of moles of hydrogen by number of moles of oxygen. Number of moles of hydrogen how much? Just now calculated is 4, okay. Number of moles of oxygen just now we have calculated as 1 by 4, so it is 1 divided by 4, okay. If I am bringing this one to the upside, automatically 4 will come up and 4 into 4 it will be 16, 4 into 4 it will be 16, right. Now let us compare the kinetic energy of hydrogen with respect to the kinetic energy of oxygen, okay. Now we got the 16 as answer. So this is kinetic energy of, so now I am writing it as kinetic energy of hydrogen gas will be equal to 16, I am writing as it is into, I am bringing this kinetic energy of oxygen to the other side. Okay. So, it will be kinetic energy of oxygen. So, this gives you the answer. So, if you observe, total kinetic energy of 8 grams of oxygen is dash times the total energy of 8 grams of oxygen. How many times it is? It is 16 times, simple. So, kinetic energy of hydrogen gas is 16 times the kinetic energy of oxygen gas, simple. So, here what we are doing, we are writing the kinetic gas equation, and here 3 by 2 is a constant, R is a universal constant, and there is no mentioning about the temperature in the question. So, I am taking temperature also constant, both the hydrogen and oxygen gas are kept at the same temperature. In that case, only one parameter is changing, that is number of moles. So, therefore, I am applying the number of moles, kinetic energy of hydrogen directly proportional to number of moles of hydrogen, kinetic energy of oxygen directly proportional to number of moles of oxygen. So, take the ratio and go for the multiplication, get the answer, compare the kinetic energies of hydrogen and oxygen. So, right. What is answer? Option D is correct. Yes. So, it is 16 times. How many times? Total kinetic energy of 8 grams of hydrogen is 16 times the total kinetic energy of 8 grams of oxygen. Okay. Very good. Now, let us move on to the next one. Which of the following possess greatest amount of energy? Which of the following possess greatest amount of energy, that is kinetic energy? Which of the following has maximum kinetic energy or more kinetic energy? So, which is generally the kinetic energy formula, we can write it as 3 by 2 nRT. We can write the kinetic energy equation as 3 by 2 nRT. Okay. So, here 3 by 2 is a constant, so R is constant, so this is constant, this is constant, so we are removing it. Kinetic energy is directly proportional to the number of moles and the temperature. R is constant because here the temperature is given for each option, you can observe. Each option temperature is given, so temperature is fluctuating, so temperature is also going to affect the kinetic energy. So, I am writing kinetic energy directly proportional to number of moles and temperature. So, we have to compare number of moles and temperature in all the 4 options that are given to us. Okay. Now, let us move now for calculating the number of moles in all these cases. 4 grams of hydrogen. So, how many moles we can get here? 4 divided by hydrogen molecular mass 2. So, we have 2 moles. Okay. 2 moles at 27 degrees centigrade. So, generally temperature we have to take in terms of the Kelvin temperature. So, automatically add 273 to this one. So, this will be 273 plus 27, it will be 300 Kelvins. Okay. 32 grams of oxygen, B option. 32 grams, here number of moles will be 32 divided by 32. So, we are getting only 1 mole, and moreover temperature is 0 degree centigrade, nothing but 273 Kelvin. So, temperature is low, number of moles is coming out to be 1. So, this automatically, since number of moles are low, temperature is also low. So, this option is ruled out. Okay. Look at the option number C. Here number of moles will be 32 by 32. So, we are getting 1 because oxygen molecular mass is 32 grams by 32 will be 1. So, 1 mole of oxygen is there. What is the temperature here? This is 277 Kelvin. 277 Kelvin, 273 plus 4, 277 Kelvin. So, this number of moles are low when compared to this one, temperature is also low. So, the option C is also ruled out. Now, come to the option number D. Number of moles of hydrogen, here we can calculate 4 divided by 2, 4 divided by 2. So, this will be equal to 2 moles. We have 2 moles of hydrogen. So, 2 moles of hydrogen at temperature is given. What is the temperature? 32 degrees centigrade. Add 273. So, 273, 32. So, this will be 5, 10, 1, 3. So, it will be 305. So, temperature is 305 Kelvins. So, in these 4 options, we have ruled out option B, option C, because the number of moles are low and temperature is also low when compared with the option A and option D. Okay. Why? Because kinetic energy depends only on number of moles and temperature. So, option D and A, if we observe, in both the cases we have hydrogen atom, hydrogen molecule only, and moreover in both the cases we have same number of moles. Same number of moles are present in both the cases, but temperature is different. In one case it is 300 Kelvin only, other case it is 305 Kelvins. So automatically which will have more energy or more kinetic energy? Option D will have more kinetic energy. Why? Because the temperature is more here. When the temperature is more, kinetic energy will be more, because in option A and D the number of moles, it is becoming constant. So when number of moles become constant, so automatically temperature is the only parameter which is going to decide the answer. Okay. So temperature is high for this particular fourth option. Simply automatically the fourth option is the correct answer in this case, right? Okay. Next one. The average kinetic energy of O2 at 27 degrees centigrade is given as X. Average kinetic energy of oxygen is given as X. He has not given the value, he just says that the kinetic energy of oxygen at 27 degrees centigrade is X, whatever may be the value. Okay, we do not want to bother about this one. Okay, no need to bother also, right. What he is asking now? The kinetic energy of SO2, then average kinetic energy of SO2 at the same temperature. At the same temperature, what will be the average kinetic energy of sulfur dioxide? That is what is the question. Whether it is X only or X by 2 or it may be 2X or X by 4. How to compare? How to compare? First write the kinetic energy equation. Kinetic energy equal to 3 by 2 N into R into T. N into R into T. Okay. Here nothing is given with respect to the number of moles. So just rule out this number of moles. This is taken as a constant. 3 by 2, it is also taken as a constant. So I am ruling it out. R is gas constant. In both the cases the value will remain constant, whether it is oxygen gas or sulfur dioxide gas. Number of moles is not given, so I am cancelling out the number of moles. 3 by 2 is a constant 1.5, in both the cases that is also removed. R is also universal gas constant, so removing the R value. So now it is very clearly indicating that kinetic energy will depend only on the temperature. It depends only on the temperature. Kinetic energy will depend upon only the temperature. That is what we have discussed under the kinetic molecular theory. What is the last concept that we got? Kinetic energy of a gas will depend on its absolute temperature. Kinetic energy will depend only on the temperature of the gas. So that you have to keep it in mind, okay, while answering this kind of questions, because the values are not given. They says that kinetic energy of oxygen is X at 27 degrees centigrade. What will be the kinetic energy of SO2 at the same temperature? So you have to catch this point, at same temperature at 27 degrees centigrade, what will be the kinetic energy of sulfur dioxide? Since in this case number of moles is not given, 3 by 2 is constant, R is constant, kinetic energy depend only on temperature. If temperature remain constant, temperature remain constant, what about the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy will also remain constant. When temperature is remain constant, kinetic energy of the gas is going to remain constant. So whatever may be the gases you are going to take, if you take hydrogen gas, oxygen gas, sulfur dioxide gas, carbon dioxide gas, kept at the same temperature, always will have same kinetic energy if there is no mentioning about the number of moles, if they are having equal moles in all the gases, okay. So automatically the kinetic energy of sulfur dioxide is same as that of the oxygen. Oxygen kinetic energy is X, so automatically sulfur dioxide kinetic energy should also be X only, because both the gases are kept at same temperature, because kinetic energy depends upon temperature. If temperature is kept constant, kinetic energy will also remain constant. All the parameters are constant here, so automatically kinetic energy is same in both the cases. So kinetic energy of oxygen is X means sulfur dioxide kinetic energy is also X only, right? Very good. Next, move on to the next one. An ideal gas cannot be liquefied. An ideal gas cannot be liquefied. Why it is so? Collisions are elastic because of the absence of attractive force, because gravity has no effect on the molecule, because the average kinetic energy is not proportional to the absolute temperature. So option 4 is absolutely absurd. So the average kinetic energy is proportional to the absolute temperature, so we cannot consider this as the correct statement for this one. So here he says that when we are going to have an ideal gas, the ideal gas cannot be liquefied. Why it is so? Of course, since in next upcoming classes we are going to see the ideal gases, some more examples how the deviations are going to take place. So already we have gone through the gas laws, and there we have derived the ideal gas equation, PV equal to nRT. The gas which follows Boyle's law and Charles law at all temperatures and pressures is taken as ideal gas. But of course in reality means in nature we have so many gases. All the gases are ideal gases? No, they are called as real gases, because these gases, the gases which are present in the atmosphere, they won't follow PV equal to nRT at all the conditions of temperature and pressure. They are called as real gases. They are known as real gases. Okay. So here what they are asking, we cannot liquefy a ideal gas. Ideal gas means it is an imaginary gas. We cannot, there is no exact existence of ideal gas. Whatever may the gases that are existing in reality are called as real gases, and real gases can be liquefied. We can convert oxygen gas into oxygen liquid, carbon dioxide gas into carbon dioxide liquid, and similarly the hydrogen gas into hydrogen liquid, nitrogen gas into nitrogen liquid by decreasing the temperature and increasing the pressure. When you increase pressure, what happens? Molecules volume will decrease, right, according to Boyle concept. So volume will decrease, the molecules come closer. As the molecule come closer, they condense together and gas will convert into liquid. And when you decrease the temperature, because kinetic energy, just now we have seen, kinetic energy depends upon the temperature. As temperature decreased, kinetic energy will decrease. Kinetic energy is due to motion of the molecule, movement of the molecule. So automatically when we are decreasing the temperature, movement of the molecules get decreased. So moment is decreased, so molecules come closer. Automatically a gas can be converted into liquid. A real gas can be converted into liquid because of presence of the attractive forces between the particles or between the gaseous molecules. In the case of ideal gas, the gas cannot be liquefied because of the absence of attractive forces. No forces, attractive forces are working between the particles. When you increase the pressure in the case of real gas, what happens? Volume decreases, particles will come closer. Why they are coming closer? Because one attracting the other. So attractions are present in the case of real gas, but in the case of ideal gas, no attractions are present. When there is no attraction, no liquefaction. Okay, a gas cannot be converted into liquid. The absolute temperature of a gas, absolute temperature of a gas, that is to say that temperature given in terms of Kelvin scale. Okay, temperature given in terms of Kelvin scale of a gas is a measure of the number of molecules in the gas. Can temperature will give us the number of molecules present in the gas? No. The absolute temperature of a gas is a measure of the volume of a gas? No. We cannot measure the volume with respect to the temperature. Okay. The absolute temperature of a gas indicates the nature of the gas? No. The nature of gas, whether it is oxygen gas, hydrogen gas, how we came to know? By experiment only, by not with the temperature. So absolute temperature won't give any information about the nature of the gas, right? So then absolute temperature of a gas is a measure of the average kinetic energy of the molecules. Yes, as we know, kinetic energy depends upon the absolute temperature of the gas. So absolute temperature of a gas is a measure of the average kinetic energy of the molecules of the gases. So it is a measure of absolute the kinetic energy of the average kinetic energy of the gases or average kinetic energy of the molecules. Okay, I think you got a clear idea now with respect to the absolute temperature of the gas, right? Yeah, look at this one. Sulfur dioxide molecule is twice as heavy as O2 molecule. We know that O2 molecule molecular mass is 32 because oxygen atomic number is 16. Okay, 16 plus 16, 2 oxygen atoms are present in oxygen molecule. So 16 plus 16, it is 32. In the case of sulfur dioxide, sulfur atomic mass is 32. Oxygen 32, 32 plus 32, it is 64. how much it is? 2 times heavier. 32 into 2 will give us 64, right. So, SO2 molecule is twice as heavy as O2 molecule. Okay. So, the mass of sulfur dioxide is 2 times the mass of oxygen, that is what is the statement in the statement given in the first one. Okay. Hence, at 25 degrees centigrade, hence at 25 degrees centigrade, the ratio of the average kinetic energy of sulfur dioxide and oxygen is asking us to calculate the ratio of the kinetic energy of sulfur dioxide and oxygen. So, kinetic energy of sulfur dioxide, okay, is to kinetic energy of oxygen. So, we have to get the ratio of kinetic energy of sulfur dioxide to kinetic energy of oxygen. So, that is what we have to calculate. So, how to get this value? Can you think up? I will give you the options as well. It is 1:1, 2:1, 1:2, 4:1. Just think and get the answer. I will be back in 1 minute. Okay. Yes. You got any idea? Right. First we have to write the kinetic energy equation. Kinetic energy is equal to, for 1 mole of gas we can write it as 3/2 RT, 3/2 RT. So, here kinetic energy 3/2 is a constant, so I am ruling it out. R is a universal gas constant, so I am ruling it out, the R value as well. Kinetic energy, of course temperature. If you observe here, where these two gases are kept, the two gases are kept at the same temperature. So, temperature is also constant. When temperature is constant, kinetic energy will also remain constant. So, in that case, what will be the value that we are going to get? The kinetic energy of sulfur dioxide divided by kinetic energy of oxygen. Since these are kept at the same temperature, so the temperature of sulfur dioxide and temperature of oxygen both are same. So, they gets cancelled out. So, you get 1/1, or you can say that the ratio the ratio of kinetic energies, average kinetic energies of sulfur dioxide and oxygen is, they are coming out to be 1:1. So, option A is the correct answer. Option A is the correct answer. It is 1:1 ratio that is maintained between the kinetic energy of sulfur dioxide and oxygen. So, these are the kind of questions which will confuse you, which are going to confuse you. Okay. So, first statement is given. How they are given? The mass of sulfur dioxide is twice heavy as that of the oxygen molecule. It says that the sulfur dioxide is little, having a weight compared to the oxygen. Oxygen is a lighter gas compared to sulfur dioxide gas. Yes, because of the mass. So, automatically what do we think? Which has light weight will move very fast, and which has very heavy weight will move slow. Automatically we think in other way around, and thereby we can say if the molecule oxygen kinetic energy is x, in that case automatically sulfur dioxide value will be x/2. So, this will be half only. So, it will be 2:1 generally we expect, of course. But since the kinetic energy formula, if you observe for the gas molecules, the kinetic energy will depend only on the temperature, it is nothing to do with the molecular masses of the gases. So, automatically if the temperature is kept constant, when the temperature of the two gases is constant, then in that case kinetic energy will also remain constant. So, the ratio between the average kinetic energy of sulfur dioxide to the average kinetic energy of the oxygen ratio, if we observe, it is 1:1 only, right. Okay. Let us move on to the next one. At the same temperature and pressure, at the same temperature and pressure. So here temperature and pressure kept constant. Okay, which of the following gases will have highest kinetic energy per mole? Highest kinetic energy per mole. So we know that kinetic energy equal to 3 by 2 nRT. Okay, here per mole they have given. So for 1 mole, so we write it as 3 by 2 RT. 3 by 2 RT. Kinetic energy coming out to be 3 by 2 RT. And moreover, 3 by 2 is a constant, R is a constant. So kinetic energy will depend only on the temperature. Kinetic energy will depend only on the temperature. So depending on the temperature. So in which of the following cases we have highest kinetic energy? They are asking us to calculate a molecule which has high kinetic energy. Hydrogen gas, oxygen gas, methane gas, all will have equal value. So which is correct? Which is correct? And the first statement, if you observe, at the same temperature and pressure, when the temperature and pressure are kept constant, when the temperature and pressure are kept constant, so which is correct value, which is going to have the highest kinetic energy? Since temperature is constant, temperature is kept constant, of course we do not want to bother about the pressure. He has given a hint of the temperature, temperature is kept constant, so automatically kinetic energy will remain constant. What about kinetic energy? Kinetic energy will remain constant. That is to say that all the gases will have the same kinetic energy, same value of kinetic energy, whether it is hydrogen gas or oxygen gas or methane gas, all will have the same value of kinetic energy. So option D is correct answer, because the temperature is kept constant, so all the gases will have the same kinetic energy. So here kinetic, when the temperature is kept constant, kinetic energy becomes constant per mole. If it is given per mole, for 1 mole, okay, per mole means here per 1 mole. But of course if they are given the masses, in that case you have to even consider the number of moles. You have to take the moles into consideration and then look at the moles, what we have done in the case of the first one, hydrogen and oxygen, 8 grams of hydrogen and 8 grams of oxygen. In that case what we have done, you have to do the calculation of number of moles and then compare. But here it is given per mole, so if I am going to take 1 mole of hydrogen, 1 mole of oxygen, 1 mole of methane, and all these 1 mole of hydrogen, 1 mole of oxygen and 1 mole of methane are kept at the same temperature and pressure, in that case since temperature remain constant, their kinetic energy will also remain constant. No gas will have higher value, no gas will have lower value, all the gases kinetic energy values are same, they are equal to one another, whatever may be the value that is given. Okay. Okay. Now, which of the following statement is not a postulate of kinetic molecular theory of gases? So, which of the following statement is not a postulate of kinetic molecular theory of gases? So, kinetic molecular theory of gases, they says that the gases are made up of very tiny particles called atoms or molecules, and these particles are separated by large distances, and because of the separation is large, there is no attractive and repulsive forces are operating between the gas molecules. Okay. And the one gas molecule is moving independent of the other gas molecule, one gas molecule not affecting the properties of other gas molecule. These are the some of the postulates that we have come across. So lastly it says that the kinetic energy of the gas molecule is directly proportional to the absolute temperature of the gas. It is direct, kinetic energy and temperature are directly related to one another. That is what we have discussed in the kinetic molecular theory of gases. Now let us observe which statement is the wrong statement with respect to the kinetic molecular theory of gases. Kinetic energy is dependent on temperature. Yes, kinetic energy is dependent on temperature. This is correct one. Okay, I am marking the correct ones, Nana. Okay, so this is correct one. Kinetic energy depends upon the temperature. This is correct. Kinetic energy dependent on pressure. No, this is wrong. Kinetic energy does not depend upon the pressure. The pressure is due to the collision of the molecules on the walls of the container. How the pressure is created? The gas molecule will go and hit the surface, inner surface of the wall, and thereby the pressure is created. But kinetic energy of the molecule does not depend upon the pressure. So it is independent of the pressure, you can say. The molecular collisions are perfectly elastic collisions. Yes, this is what we have discussed. molecular collisions of the gas molecules within the gas in a container, they are perfectly elastic. That is to say that no energy is lost during the collision process, no energy is gained. But what is happening? Energy neither created nor destroyed here. What is happening here? Transfer of energy takes place from one molecule to the other molecule. So, energy is, whenever the molecules are colliding with one another, energy transfer occurs from one molecule to the other. So, the collisions are perfectly elastic and they collide with one another, they go back. They collide with one another, they go back. If for example a gas molecule moving with high speed colliding with a gas molecule moving with a low speed, so automatically after the collision what happens? The gas molecule which is moving with a high speed will move with the slow speed, and the gas molecule initially which is moving with a slow speed will move with a high speed. So, during the collision process energy get transferred from the molecule which is moving with high speed to a molecule which is moving with the low speed, and these molecules go and hit the wall of the container and then they will come back. So, all the collisions that are taking place in the container are perfectly elastic. The pressure of a gas is due to the collision of the gas molecules on the walls of the vessel. Yes, the pressure of the gas is due to the collision of the gas molecule on the walls of the container. As soon as it go and hit the wall, it will come back. So, the other side we can experience the force acting per unit area, that is what we have taken it as a pressure. So, the pressure of a gas is due to the collision of gas molecules on the walls of the container or walls of the vessel. So, among the given options if you observe, kinetic energy is dependent on pressure. This is not the postulate of kinetic molecular theory. Okay. So, this is the wrong statement. So, which of the following statement is not a postulate? Second is not a postulate of the kinetic molecular theory. Okay. Looking at the last one, Boyle's law according to kinetic gas equation. What is Boyle's law according to kinetic gas equation? How we can derive the Boyle's law? So, we know that PV equal to 1 by 3 mnc square. So, we can multiply and divide this one with 2, so that we can get mnc square. So, this will be 2 by 3 kT, because this is kinetic energy will depend upon the temperature. So, kinetic energy is directly proportional to temperature, or if I am going to take it as, it will be 2 by 3 kT. So, this is what the equation that we have used in deducing all the gas laws from kinetic gas equation. So, PV equal to 2 by 3 kT is one form of the Boyle's law. If the temperature is kept constant, K is constant, P by 3, 2 by 3 is constant, automatically what happens? If temperature is kept constant, if I am keeping temperature constant, so in that case PV will be equal to constant. What is PV? PV is constant. So, we can get PV constant. When we can get PV constant? Under Boyle's law, temperature is kept constant, PV is equal to constant. So, PV equal to 2 by 3 kT. So, option A is correct. PV equal to 3 by 2 kT, no. PV equal to RT, no. PV equal to RT, no. So, this is A is the correct option for Boyle's law, PV equal to 2 by 3 kT. Okay. Students, I think you got enjoyed with the questions with respect to the mains level examination. Some more interesting topics we will discuss in the advanced level questions with respect to the kinetic molecular theory. Until then, have a nice time. Thank you.